because StreamYard is I don't understand what's going on there, but that's I've not had internet trouble. They're having problems. I guess they just won't fess up. Hey, if you guys could do me a big favor, I'm going to leave this crawler on the bottom of the ticker on the bottom. Make it easy on yourself if you want to find the halftime and post game shows, if you want to see the replays, just subscribe to the channel. I think that I'm looking at statistics. What in the hell was that? You've got something running in the background. Thank you. Yeah. So, uh, yeah, but the vast majority of people who are listening to the program aren't even subscribed. So, subscribe to this. Please. I mean, I've been doing this for 24 years and I just want to see this subscription number go up so that I'll feel a little bit better about doing this. Because if people don't subscribe to this, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm not going to ever charge for it, but I think it's important that, after 24 years, there's a right way and a wrong way of doing all things. In the chat room, I am putting up the link that will for guests on the program. If you want to be not be like Bronk, but if you want to be in the position that, yeah, if you want to be in the position that Bronk is in, just click on the link and you'll be zoomed right into the studio, and it's just yes, just like magic. So here's I wish I could tell you this was like what a huge day, for Cleveland sports. I mean, the Guardians are losing again, 3 in a row to the Braves. No reason for that. All 3 games at home, and they choked the last one. Stephen Kwan fucked up a bunt, and yeah. So you just come to the conclusion that they're going to win a few, they're going to lose a few, and that's just all the better that they are. So what's the point of even talking about them? So let's talk about the Cleveland Browns because really a very surprising story. And yeah, the Browns have named Joe Flacco the Week 1 starter versus the Bengals. God, that just threw me for a fucking loop, you know? I mean, oh, that Stefanski guy, he's got a bag of tricks, doesn't he? I got to be honest with y'all. I mean, why? I mean, and I'm going to go back to subscribing. Why are you paying cleveland.com for to get behind their paywall? Why are you doing it? You're wasting your money and they're fucking leading you in 6 different directions. And the fact of the matter is, I've been telling you for weeks and weeks that this was going to happen because there was no other possibility. So why waste somebody's time? Yeah, so I think I better add you to the scene.
Am I on the scene? Was I not on making the scene?
Yeah, now you're on the
James
scene.
Brown.
Yeah. So, of course, Joe Flacco is the starter for Week 1. The other piece of information that His Highness gave us was that this last preseason game is really going to be a tryout. No, it's going to be a dress rehearsal. So you're going to see more of the players that you would expect to see. That one last chance to get injured before the season begins. It's
no,
and it's really incredible. Kenny Pickett hasn't done shit.
I've invoked Topaz. No,
he has not participated in 11 on 11 drills since July 26th. He didn't play in the preseason opener because of a hamstring, and that's Gabriel. And Sanders, we know about his oblique. So, and Tyler Huntley is just waiting to say bye. I'll see you again next year when you just need somebody to fill in.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And the fact of the matter is, Joe Flacco is a placeholder. And he's a placeholder for as long as he can be a placeholder. If he plays well, then
He'll stay there.
he'll stay there because there's no reason to put young players, if they can learn more from watching than going out there and getting blown up.
Yeah.
So I hope Joe Flacco stays healthy and I hope he does well. But I think obviously Joe Flacco was 2-4 last year for the Colts, and he
And he
uh,
wasn't that good.
he wasn't that good, and he
wasn't
had
that
a
good.
really great final bravo performance for the Browns the last time he was playing, and for us. And the likelihood of him coming out with the receivers that he has
Oh,
and tearing it up would seem very, very unlikely to me. So my belief is that it may not, and I hope it's not his health that determines how much Joe Flacco plays or how long he plays. I hope it's the
yeah.
record of the team that dictates that. And there's at that point, if you play the first 6 games of the season and you're 0-6 or 1-5, there's no reason to play Joe Flacco anymore because you're not playing for anything. And at that point, you got to take a look at your young guys after they've had 6 weeks to look at the situation. So, again, my prediction of this is that Flacco will play the first 6 games of the season. And after that, you're going to see one of the two rookie quarterbacks. And which one
Yep.
it will be, the dress rehearsal will not last, in my opinion, for more than the maximum first half. And a lot of it will depend upon how many possessions the Browns get. And again, if the Browns look real clean and good and are on the same page, and if the defense were to get some, turnovers, and we put points up quick on the board, and everyone could get off the field feeling happy and healthy, that's what you're going to see is as fast a removal as you can. They're trying to accomplish something, and if nothing else, to feel good about and who knows what there is to feel good about. We're going to find out one way or the other.
Yeah.
And same thing's true with the defense. It's going to be a very interesting thing to see the actual first string defense and you might get an idea of how the rotations below that first string, because that Schwartz always rotates. He always rotates his offense or his defensive line, always.
Well, they gotta be holding out Garrett and Ward and a few other people. They'd be idiotic to start
No,
their
no, they're all going to
stuff.
play, but I don't.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, but I really
Oh,
don't think you're going to see. Uh, y- to my way of thinking, you keep them in only as long as you get what you want out of the situation, and I just don't see it to be more than 3 or 4 offensive possessions, unless they're like 3 and outs. And then, the second that Flacco does anything decent and they move the ball, that will
yeah.
be the next man up. And my guess is the next man up will be Dylan Gabriel, because he is really Kevin
Well,
Stefanski personified.
I think they might try to showcase Pickett just to see whether some idiotic team's dumb enough to take him off our hands. But
I don't
I
even
don't know.
know. I'm not even hearing whether he's going to be healthy enough. I don't know what the
I'm just
situation with him
totally
is.
speculating from 5,000 miles away. So, you know, that's.
And, yeah, exactly, Rick. Exactly.
My bags are packed. I'm ready to
Yeah.
go.
Do you think Andrew Berry is going to pull off?
Henry
I don't want to think about that.
him pulling himself
A
up.
Henderson trade. I don't know. What do I know? I don't. I never talk about possible trades because you know what that means. You've got nothing else to say,
Yeah.
And that's what all of this tripe online has become. It's like, it was just like the Cavaliers. Well, what if we traded Darius Garland for LeBron James? And you're gonna, and it's like, oh, come on, folks.
Uh, that's for 10-year-olds. When I was a 10-year-old, you know what I did. So yeah, that's not adult conversation.
Yeah, and my feeling is, maximum 3 or 4 possessions, and then you're going to see Dylan Gabriel, and then he'll do what he needs to do to try to clean up some of the mistakes that he made. And in the second half, you'll see Shadur. That
Oh,
would be my guess. I mean, and again, I could be completely wrong because they could throw, Pickett in there
yeah,
and
but
just,
you're not paid to say who's going to be playing. The people on Cleveland.com are actually paid to,
yeah.
come up with some proper speculation, and I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
what is it? I saw something about they were going to trade Hendrickson or something, or I don't know, some nonsense online. I thought, oh god, that
Well,
can't be
I don't.
real.
I just
That
won't.
can't be real.
I won't do the conjecture because
That can't be. Yeah.
there, you're not. Even Mary Kay Cabot gets it wrong when somebody
Yeah,
tells her what it
amazingly
is.
enough, the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame writer herself, the one we all look up to, yeah, she gets it wrong.
Now, I wanted to also talk about uh, the quote of Dylan Gabriel.
Oh yeah, the entertainers.
Yeah. It's an interesting example. Oh,
Tony,
let's
Tony's
add.
waiting.
Hey, Tony the calf, how you doing,
Tony.
buddy?
Moo.
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 Uh, I'm when I see anybody, I mean, make a quote and then have to backtrack and then has to have Mary Kay Cabot explain it to the
Explain. Oh
world.
God,
Yeah, I mean, she's his fucking mother. I swear to God, he calls her mommy. It's like, look,
grandma
here's the
is more like it.
situation. You had Chidi Adewata Boombang interviewing.
That's the
I
one.
don't
Yeah,
know her name, and she's on the sidelines, WEWS feed
yeah.
of the game. And it was when he was done with his playing time after the first half. And she just asked him, and there are people who are making shit up. And the comment that she made is, "How do you handle all of the noise, of being, a quarterback in the NFL and being in the situation that you're in?" And of course, he made his comment that he is a competitor, and that he said, there are entertainers and then there are competitors, and I'm a competitor. Now,
Yeah.
some people took that as a shot at Shadur, and here's what I want to say about this. If he was, because the excuse that they came up with is a lie, and I don't like prevarications. I don't like people who lie. You just come clean and you say, I didn't make myself clear, and I probably shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
I got to put my head
I'm a
down
young
and
man and I've
do
made
my
a
job.
mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is, and it's really ridiculous. Maybe his agent called him. Maybe the ownership said, you better read this statement. But when you're talking directly to a member of the press, and the excuse that you come up with was, "Oh, no, no, no. What he meant was that the reporters are entertainers." So you're telling me that
What?
he whipped his dick out and pissed all over Chidi when she asked him a question that had nothing to do with journalists in general, but just had to do with what's it like being in the middle of the storm of, with everything that's being said, everything that is being written. And he had a perfect opportunity to comment to her simply by saying, well, you're the entertainers,
Yeah, exactly.
but I'm a player and I'm a competitor. I said, so I expect you folks to do your job and I'll do mine. That would have been an easy way of putting it if that's what he really meant, but that's not what he
Not what he
meant.
meant. Yeah, it's not what he meant at
So,
all.
and I know everybody who wants Dylan Gabriel to win the number 2 position. They're all gonna make excuses, and Mary Kay Cabot was the first one to immediately run out the excuse. And I don't believe any of this shit. I think he stepped in shit. I don't think that Dylan Gabriel hates Shador Sanders.
Oh,
What I will
no,
tell you is this about
no.
Shador. Shador never stops talking. If you look at him,
Oh yeah, he's
yakking it
hyper.
up pregame, yakking it up on the sidelines, and you just couldn't find two different people than Dylan Gabriel and Shador as far as their externalized
Their demeanor
personalities.
is the word you're looking for.
Right, and they're just very different people.
Yeah.
So I would understand why you just get sick of hearing his yap. I get it. I understand it. But if you're as focused as you say you are, then you're not tuned into that.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's not like the press even isn't the only people talking about Shador. I mean, there are people in Carolina who were dressing like him and had his uniform on, his jersey on, and were cheering him in a foreign stadium. And so now the people who are Dylan Gabriel fans are saying, "Oh, the CU fans." It's like, how many fucking Buffalo fans can there be? The Colorado Buffaloes. I mean,
None.
And then you want to hear the other thing they're saying? He was only 13-12 at Colorado. So what are you talking about that he's good? And it's like, it seems to me they turned a program around.
Yeah, they were like 0 and God knows what.
And Dion came in and, he got players because of his fame through the portal. And, some of them, you had Travis Hunter, you had his son. And if those guys would have fallen flat on their faces and played like dog meat, then yeah, you would say, nothing special. But they turned the program around and made literally a program that nobody cared about, nobody talked about.
Oh, it's moribund, another SAT
yes.
word.
Yep.
SAT word.
And nobody talked about Colorado's football program, and except how thin the air is there. And that's that. So now suddenly people are saying, "Oh, all the CU fans." It's like, oh God, how many of them can there be? For God's sakes, there's interest in people who are related to famous people. There are actually people, honest to God, who are on, X talking about Barron Trump. Now, nobody would be talking about a young man who, it's like we all went through that age. But when you're, the same thing happened with Chelsea Clinton. You're in the spotlight. When you're the child of the president of the United States, you're going to be, seen, and people are going to form opinions about you. And that's the thing where sometimes it really works out badly. Like Will Smith's son, Jaden, they put him in a movie, the Karate Kid remake, and it failed miserably. And everywhere you looked, it was him. And now you see he's wearing his pants halfway down his ass, and he's all fucked up. He's a mess. But when people push their children into the spotlight of social media, it can be bad news. And the Kardashians have all done it. And you got to have thick skin. So Dylan Gabriel just has to understand that Dylan Gabriel's father is not somebody famous, and that's a blessing. That's not a curse. That's a blessing. Because if Shador turned out to be lousy in the NFL, it's going to be a Bronny James situation. That's what it's going to be. And that's really too bad because you don't want to see the worm turn when you're the son of a famous person who doesn't live up to the skill set of their parent. That's like the worst thing. So, I don't think it's important. I'm not going to degrade.
I'm going to give Bronny James a bit of a pass on that. I mean, it's pretty hard to live up to the expectations of, the being the son of the best basketball player of all time. But he also had the heart condition that kind of derailed his entire fucking college
Yeah, he had an
career.
illness, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I clicked on something and
Yeah, kid almost died on the court.
Booted you out, yeah. And I
no.
see that your signal isn't as strong as it was before, Bronk.
God knows, I don't know what's going on.
It's starting to crawl up a little bit, but
I
yeah.
don't know. I think. Let me look at something.
God, can I just say, Mark, how much
Sure.
I appreciate you for the on streaming box.
Oh, it's a
Being
gift
able to
giving.
watch the Browns and Eagles this weekend, or just being able to at random points click over to whatever wanted to watch whatever preseason game out of market and not have to pay $512 fucking like Sunday
That's
Ticket wanted me
crazy,
to
man.
this year.
Yeah, it really
It's so
is
wonderful.
And the thing is watching a game on
And it isn't some shady stream that might kick out in 10 seconds,
Right, but the other thing for me is I'm in Northeast Ohio, so I'm watching.
You can watch it, yeah.
WEWS, but I feel for people who are Browns fans and they're spread all over not only the country
world,
but the world,
fucking
right?
world, yes.
And there's no opportunity for these people to see the games unless they shell out an inordinate amount of money. And I got to be honest, I mean, back when I was subscribing to those services, the first few weeks, every single season, were mucked up in one way or
they
another.
didn't know how to do it. Oh, God, yeah.
I remember the point where when you had the Sunday Ticket, you would stream the games.
I was just fed up with them. Yeah, I just
that was 20 years ago now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but I think business is business, but you just can't raise the price just and the whole DirecTV thing and the whole satellite idea of internet connectivity through satellite dish has gone to hell in a handbasket.
That was never going to work. But anyway.
No, fiber optics is the way, and even like Spectrum, who I'm having difficulties with off and on, they have an ancient infrastructure, and they're trying to squeeze out every last dollar of an aging architecture and infrastructure. And the fact of the matter is, the stuff for the Spectrum, it's deteriorating in the ground. The fiber optics will not deteriorate, and they maintain consistency and speed. And as far as the ONN box, it's really a more powerful thing than a Fire Stick.
Yeah.
And I tried Fire Sticks because they're just so portable and small. But I had buffering problems when I used that. And
I know you don't necessarily like Elon Musk, but I've had Starlink now for about a year, and I'll tell you, I've never had a single problem. It's always been fast, even in thunderstorms. I mean, I'll have to give Elon some credit there. He's got a good internet product.
And let me see what this is. Sanders suckers are ridiculous. It's not him, it's his fans. I believe it's the reason he wasn't drafted. Now, something.
I mean, teams aren't going to draft it.
I mean, to be honest, DeAndre, let's be honest about this. You're saying that the fans talked every franchise in the league
into
through 5 rounds into not giving him a chance. Now, listen to yourself.
That's a bit far-fetched, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's the kind of stuff that we don't deal with here because there's just no evidence to the whole thing. And I'm sure that, maybe you want to go home and take ivermectin to make sure that you don't get, you want to take a cattle dewormer in order to not get viruses. Uh, we don't go with hokum here. We try to stick with, I try to make educated guesses. I acknowledge when I'm wrong about them. And, and Pat is asking, who is the dude we just gave $3 million to guaranteed? And
No
that's
idea.
the wide receiver, Isaiah Bond. And
Oh, Isaiah Bond.
we talked about him in the
Yeah, we
last
did.
program, and that he was exonerated of charges, and the $3 million that we gave him was a commensurate price tag that he would have received had he been drafted in the third round.
Okay.
That's the factual numerical information. And
Well,
Pat,
No,
fair enough.
no, was that James's brother or?
Gary U.S. bro.
yeah, and Pat, it's all the Illuminati. You know it. I know it. The Illuminati is more big and profound now than they've ever been.
They're all lizard people.
Pat will understand what I'm saying. So the other thing interesting about Flacco is that the Browns are going to be playing in Baltimore on week 2 of the season, and that would be the first start in Baltimore since he was traded by the Ravens all the way back in 2018.
Assuming the offensive line doesn't get him murdered.
Yeah, he might be Jake Delhomme by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the last thing about Flacco, which is really says so much more about the Browns organization, he's one of 3 quarterbacks to have a winning record with the Browns since their return.
No way!
Can you believe this?
No way!
Now,
Who are the
let's
other
see-
2?
Yeah, okay. This will tell you everything you need to know for all the quarterbacks we drafted, all the attempts that we made.
God, who are the other 2?
Brian Hoyer, who was 10-6, and Case Keenum was 2-0.
Yeah, because I knew it wasn't Mayfield.
I don't know,
I
man.
knew it wasn't Baker. I wasn't going to. It's Case Keenum 2-0. No.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
And
Brian Hoyer.
what
I
I've
would have
said,
thought Derek Anderson would have been somewhere close, but obviously not.
Stefanski's offense is, I think the philosophy is you're going to have to play a lot of seasons without a real honest to God star quarterback, and you've got to have a system that works for, and you got to find the heady, smart, analytical guys. And they don't need the biggest arms in the world because it's a tight end oriented, short passing game kind of thing. And Case Keenum kind of fit that mold.
Yeah.
And, which is cool. Because it's true. You look at all the teams in the league, there are very few 18-year vets like Ben Roethlisberger or people who, or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
People who've been there for a long time. It's more like the Cam Newton scenario, and who's had a couple of really good seasons. He was an NFL MVP, and then he was hurt, and then he could never do anything ever again. And the Panthers never recovered.
No.
It's just hard to find good quarterbacks. So the Stefanski thing is like, offense for idiots. No, I'm serious.
Do they still make those dummies book, like
I think they
offense
do.
for dummies? From like 20 years ago? Like Windows XP for dummies.
Yeah, that's it. That's what this is. The offense is designed for dummies. Yeah. It's so at any rate,
You big dummy.
yeah.
You big dummy.
Don't make me do that because that just kills my throat.
Boy. We're just chuckling away here.
Yeah.
I tell you what, were the Eagles playing at 1/3 speed in that game or what? I don't know how you can make any sort of
Yeah.
judgment about
No, there's no.
personnel
The
watching that
Eagles
game.
started DTR for fuck's sake.
They were like not even, and then the Bears bombed the Bills during, and they did the same thing last year, and people are saying, "Oh, look at that," and I go, "Well, the Bills probably weren't trying either." So
Well, this will tell you how deep teams are struggling to find talent. And the Colts, who are another team that just can't
they just
seem,
get out of their own way.
yeah, with the whole Anthony Richardson thing most recently, and they just haven't been able to replace the better quarterbacks that they've had. And they've just become a middling to below middling team. They've just signed four-time Pro Bowl cornerback Xavier Howard, which you say, wow, that can't be a bad thing, because they got wiped out. Their cornerbacks are injured,
Oh
so they're
wow,
signing veteran Xavier Howard. Now, veteran is an
me
interesting word.
that means old in the NFL.
Yes.
Can barely run with a zipper frame.
I'm amazed the guy still has an agent. All right.
Wow.
Howard's signing is going to put him on an active roster for the first time since Miami cut him
2023?
in February 2024. But
2024. Wow. Okay.
and he has dealt with a ton of injuries. But the Colts conducted an in-person workout with him and said,
You're our
"Man,
man.
his performance was really good. Really, really good."
Really good.
Uh,
We're going to get Topo Gigio playing safety.
and
next
so the defensive coordinator for the Colts, Lou Anarumo, has a long history with Howard, and he's still living in the past, Jethro Tull.
week. Yeah.
So, in fact, he coached
I'll go
Howard
along.
back 2016, 2017. People are willing to take a chance to put somebody back there hoping they have one decent, healthy year. And that's a Band-Aid. That's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I just yesterday found out that, remember Harrison Bryant for the Browns, the tight
Oh
end?
yeah, yeah.
He's
Tight
still
end.
in the league.
What is he
Really?
doing?
He just got traded to the Texans for that wide receiver from Alabama.
What,
From
Michi or
Mechie or something like
Michi?
that.
Michi,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, another underachieving
To
skill
the
guy from
Eagles, yeah.
Alabama.
I was like,
Man,
holy shit, Harrison Bryant's still in the NFL.
it's as for people asking about Isaiah Bond, I mean, he recorded 99 receptions for 1,428 yards with 10 touchdowns while he was at Alabama and Texas. If you want to identify him in the game, if he'll be out there, he'll be wearing number 81, which probably 16 people have worn that number
Yeah, they have
in the
to
last
dry
8
clean.
years for the Browns.
Yeah, they have to dry clean the jersey each time to get all the stains out from the different people that have worn that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the story is with him. And again, you're hoping to find a needle in a haystack. You're hoping to find a good wide receiver, and you're not drafting them. That's for goddamn sure. Yeah. Yeah, and this is why Baker has so many fans here. The first playoff game won away since team returned. Yeah, in an empty stadium, correct. And Baker's still looking to do something in the playoffs with Tampa Bay. So we'll see. This this is going to be a make or break year for him, I think, because he's coming off that great season and the disappointment. He had his best numeric numbers, and he was still barely over 500. The team. So that means he's not playing for the best
Wow.
team. Yeah, Pat, you did. Juan Thornhill, whether he's going to make the roster or not, is actually a Pittsburgh Steeler now. And that's where he belongs, the fucking coward. But I'm not bitter.
Oh, do you want to hear some of the great names that have worn the famous number 81 jersey of the Cleveland Browns?
Michael Jackson.
Richard Higgins.
Richard Higgins. There you go.
Michael Jackson. Quincy Morgan.
Yeah, there you go, Quincy. I can't catch with my hands.
Michael Woods II.
Oh,
Antonio Brown.
wait. Michael Woods II. Oh, I'll play 3 games during the course of the year when all the wide receivers get injured. Okay, next.
And Austin Hooper. And
Austin. Wait, no, you said it wrong.
Austin
Hooper. By the time we got our hands on him, my God, he went as fast as a Yugo.
My scooter, and I have one of those scooters that people make fun of, goes faster than Austin Hooper. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to show you. I want to see if I can remember how I shouldn't be doing this live on the air. I can't find.
If it has a potential for failure, go for it because Tony and I will have a good laugh. We need a laugh.
I'm looking at. Okay, we're going to try to share a screen here. All right. I should know better than do this. Let's see if we can share this.
Oh, Mr. Moohead's screen has popped up in the studio, but not on the screen yet.
Bingo. All right.
There we go.
Now, that
sounds violent, that headline.
Oh, no, you haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't seen this.
This is to baseball what the Hanson brothers were to hockey in the movies. This is unbelievable. This guy, and what you have here is class warfare. This is a guy who plays for the Mariners, but he's in the minor leagues right now getting over injuries. So he's playing against a minor league team, and the minor league pitcher has the audacity to go after him, literally, and this is what happens.
Find out to Halter at third back in inning number 1. And the first pitch from Estes. Swung on and fouled off on a pitch that hit him. He picks up the bat and throws it at Estes. He's been tossed. He is yelling at Joey Estes, and now he runs towards the mound. And now he continues.
Well, and that's what you get with Cracker Jack. I mean, what can I tell you?
That's some anger management there. But he was, yeah. So did they count that as a strike? Did that ball actually hit his bat?
I didn't watch any more of it because if that would have happened, that's probably he already got thrown out anyway. It wasn't like you better get a pinch hitter up because he ain't going to be up there. Yeah, I've never seen that in all my years. Somebody chuck a bat out at the pitcher.
No, I don't think I have either. So,
and Jeffrey. Jamari Thrash had one game where Dylan Gabriel was throwing to him and he caught every pass that was thrown to him. Yeah. It was nice to see. But you know something? Do you really think he's strong enough to get off the line of scrimmage against the top guys who are starters in the league? Do you think he has enough speed and enough wiggle to get into the open field? He certainly didn't last year. And that kind of thing usually doesn't develop suddenly. We'll see. It was nice to see, and it was really nice for Dylan Gabriel because those throws were right on the money, and and both guys got rewarded for it. So that's a good thing.
He wears the number 80, and we're going to look at some of the famous people that have worn the jersey number 80. That's probably even worse than 81.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that I'm not.
Kellen Winslow is probably the most famous.
Yeah, let me ride my bike.
Brian Robisky, Andre Rison.
Oh, well, yeah. Wait a minute. My house is on fire. My house is on fire. Okay, and
Jarvis Landry.
Who is the other one?
Kellen Winslow. was number
Yeah,
80.
no, don't. And who's the second one you mentioned?
Uh, Andre Rison, Brian Robisky.
Brian Robisky.
Yeah.
Well, my father taught a lot of people how to do this,
Yep.
but it wasn't genetic.
Oh, remember Dwayne Bowe, who was that year's Deontay Johnson or whatever? Oh,
Yeah,
Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe.
I've
God.
forgotten about him.
Yeah. He was like going to be our savior back 10 years ago, wasn't
Man, oh man, oh.
it? Yeah, that's not a good number.
Yeah.
Not a good
Now
number.
this is and I understand why coaches do this. And Kevin Stefanski is very phlegmatic, and he doesn't get too excited about things. But Sean McDermott in Buffalo just went ape shit after their last preseason game here, where the
Fucking
Bears
smoked.
the
Yeah.
Bears just ripped him a new asshole. And here's what his quote was. The loss was certainly not up to our standard, and he said he was concerned by his team's overall performance. Even though the Bills exclusively played their backups against Caleb Williams and the Bears starters, they were outgained 528 yards to 180 and a 38-0 loss. Now, you cannot believe that in the regular season that the Bears are going to do that. I mean, that's wonderful for Caleb Williams, but honest to God, certainly not up to our standard what we expect, McDermott said. Got a lot of work to do. That's very clear. Doesn't matter who's out there, ones, twos, threes, or fours, whoever it is. We expect them to perform, and we expect our level of performance to be much better than that.
Wow. Bills have nothing to worry about.
No, but it's interesting how different coaches. If that were Kevin Stefanski, he would say, "Well, I'm going to have a few words with people, this week, and we'll get it straightened out."
I actually watched. There was like a 10-minute YouTube the interview with Stefanski popped up,
Oh, really?
and it was like Grossi and Mary Kay asking questions, and I could only handle about 4 minutes of this thing before I had to turn it off. But it was like, we have the worst media in the entire league.
Oh, you think?
It is like the questions they were asking him, like, my cat could ask a better question.
What happened to Tony the Calf?
I don't know. He mumbled something and then he disappeared.
I turned my head at him, and he was.
He mumbled. He's gone. Oh no, somebody maybe no. Don't know what happened to him. Not like the old days when I used to ring up on the blog phone and knock him off the show. But
Now, DeAndre's asked me what the former Browns player that you hate the most.
Well,
Where is he?
They hate them. They just kind of.
And then he said, "Are you talking about Jarvis Landry?"
No, he was number 80. I think this is like an old. You're back on the. He's probably responding to the number 80.
The number 80. I mean,
Yeah,
Landry was a good receiver, man.
He was the best player who wore that number.
Yeah, but I'll say this: he was so crippled by the end.
Oh, we killed him.
And I finally did get an answer from Big Ounce regarding Nick Chubb and how he looked in the last preseason game.
All right.
And what he said was, well, he averaged 5 yards a carry. He looked okay. And nobody wants to say anything bad because there's a situation there where you don't know with Joe Mixon not playing at all during the preseason. Mixon is been in the league a long time, and he's got mileage on him, and he can get hurt. And in his mind, Chubb was playing for a backup position. And the vibe I'm getting from everybody I talk to in that organization is that he's just not going to make it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, I hope that whatever he does, with joy.
Well, he should be like brought back as a team ambassador. if Bernie Kosar could be wheeled out every year, I'm sure they can wheel out Nick Chubb for
Bernie. At any rate,
yeah.
and here's another one that
Got a lot of stuff to clean up. Yeah.
yeah, Washington Commanders.
Oh yeah.
There's a team that has not been able to get out of its own way, and they now took on new ownership and they started doing better. Well, their running back Brian Robinson Jr. did not play. He's not going to play tonight against the Bengals in the preseason game, and that's looking like the end of his career there. They're
Wow.
trying to trade him over the next couple of days. Um, but listen to the solution. And they have a good young quarterback there. And how are you going to get the best out of your running game? All right.
Oh.
Get this. One team source said that Monday's game would feature a heavy dose of third-year Chris Rodriguez Jr. and rookie seventh-round pick Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt at running back. And that was before it was released that Robinson wasn't going to be around. This is incredible. If and when they get rid of Robinson, the Commanders would only have 10 players on their roster who were drafted before general manager Adam Peters and coach Dan Quinn were hired after the 2023 season. They've done an overhaul of that organization. So, but I don't know. You got the article goes on to say that, and this is insane, that they're thinking of rotating up to 6 running backs.
How do you do that? I mean, you must not carry any tight ends or.
Well, this is Cliff Kingsbury talking, so that'll give you some idea.
Yeah.
He says all 6 or 7 guys in there have a place in the league. Rodriguez, Krosky-Merritt, McNichols, and even Kazmir Allen. All right? They all have dynamic traits, all have things to do really well, and we'll just see how it shakes out. Boy, that's like throwing everything at the wall. And it's like I'm saying, when you fall behind as a franchise, it's great if you get a quarterback.
Yeah.
But man, they better hope that their offensive line is so damn good that it can open up holes like, there's no tomorrow.
The Red Sea.
For 7th round picks to run through.
Yeah. You know what? These media interviews, just generally, are just ridiculous. Why don't they just not bother and let the team issue their own little press release and not bother asking and bothering these coaches and players with questions, because you never get answers and it's just a waste of time for everybody.
Well, the thing is I think that there is a real bias against players who were there under the previous regime, before 2024. And in Robinson's case, and this is an interesting thing that'll make you understand what made Nick Chubb as great as he was. Robinson averaged 4.1 yards per carry in his career. Now, that ranks 40th among running backs since he entered the league. He ranked 29th in yards after first contact. Not good. His percentage of 10-yard runs ranked 86th. He was 17th in rushing yards per game at 57 yards per game. But it's amazing that who is averaging the 2 yards per carry or 5.3 yards per carry that Nick Chubb did before his injury. It's amazing. Yeah. So what they're banking on is that one of these young players in Washington is going to be able to at least do that good. That's, but the offensive line has something to do with it, folks. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. The hardest thing, I think, and I think Baker Mayfield found this out, when you have a really good season, we'll see how he handles it this second time, because he didn't
Right.
handle it very well the
Yeah,
first
he had
time they
one
gave
good
him.
year, then the league figured him out and knew his plays, and it probably wasn't all down to him, but then he got hurt, and then Stefanski and everybody fucked him over. So
It's really difficult when you come off of a surprise season, and it's
yep,
like I've said about the Texans too.
yep, that
It's
happened to them.
very, very difficult to establish yourself as a consistent winner in the league when there are so many injuries and when talent is as thin as it is across the league. It's very difficult to
Yeah, and
do.
the NBA is getting like that too. Not to really change the subject, but yeah, I mean, injuries are just everything now.
And there isn't enough depth.
Players, there isn't enough players out there.
Yeah. And I see that, the Rams, Matthew Stafford, he's practiced for the first time in ages.
Yeah, he's not young. I mean, the NFL would give its left nut for the sort of international pipeline that the NBA has. The NFL tries to have this like international thing, but the leagues, there's a league here in Plymouth, there's a team that plays here, but the standard is like high school football. You know, it's not any better than that. And the NBA, the NFL just can't get the players it needs to fill out the rosters.
And this is part of the problem, Jeffrey, as far as the NFL. These men uh, who own these teams,
These old men generally
they are used to getting their way,
their own way.
and they are one of 32 strong. And we have dummies like Jimmy Haslam who feel the same way about
Yeah,
themselves. And and yes, Terry McLaurin should be paid, but they don't want to show weakness toward anyone. So they make
yeah,
people jump through
beg.
hoops and whatever.
Yeah,
And it's really nauseating to see because they can put out a shit product for so many years and still make an abominable amount of money.
well,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what I think is morally wrong is that the NFL relies on taxpayer-funded high schools and universities to provide them with players. Where if you go to soccer in any other in a European country, the actual professional teams own their own academies and raise their own players and pay that money out to it's not through the schools that you get the soccer players from.
right.
So
And I mentioned him earlier in the show, Cam Newton, and he is having his jersey retired by his college alma mater. People will remember that he
yeah,
played
on
with
the high school
Auburn.
movie.
He was a big deal at Auburn, and then he
Yeah,
became an NFL MVP with Carolina, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket for him. But it's amazing. He was the 2015 NFL MVP, and he's been out of the league for so long now. That's only 10 years ago, folks.
yeah. And Joe Flacco was in his prime then.
The shelf life
Yeah,
of quarterbacks, and here is
Lay
Erlander.
Jackson,
Yeah.
the
I firmly believe
revolutionary
that you
one.
should have more subscribers by now. And I'll tell you honestly, uh, had I been more focused when I first started doing the program all the way back in 2002, uh, when there wasn't all the competition that there is
There was
today.
nothing then.
Right. But I had just retired from business and I was just not looking to start a
A
home
new one. Yeah,
business. I just wanted to fuck off, is
yeah.
what it amounted to. And yeah, I definitely missed an opportunity. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
that. But
I wouldn't. Not that I'm going to tell you what to do, but you shouldn't have any regrets about the arc of this program.
Well, it's been on longer than any others,
Yeah.
and
You're the doyen of Cleveland podcasters.
but look, the thing is that I'm determined, if nothing else, and I want the team to win. I want the team to
Yeah.
do well. I want the Cavaliers to. I got one,
One
to
championship,
talk
we'd like
about.
another.
I got to talk about a championship with the Cavaliers, so I'll never say anything bad about LeBron James. And it would be marvelous to get a World Series for the Guardians or to
Yep.
get a Super Bowl win from the Browns. But I'm 68 years old now. To put it in perspective, 23 years ago when I started the program, I was 45 years old,
Yep.
and so that's the amazing part of the program is not that it's that good. It's that one person had staying power to
persistence. Yeah.
do this over a period of time. But I do believe that we have not made enough awareness of subscribing to the channel. And now it's probably too late because there's just so much content. And what people want today is much shorter form stuff. I'm doing hour-long programs, and it's too much. The attention span of the average viewer just isn't that long, and I understand that. And better that you just do a little 6-7 minute thing where you accuse everybody of being a Nazi or whatever the case may be.
You either come up with some controversial political angle about sports, or you provide fantasy league and betting tips, or you do both. And that's what people seem to want. They don't want to sit there and chat calmly about the stuff that's going on.
And the other thing is, the reason that I am asking people to subscribe, it has nothing to do with me personally or financially or anything like that.
Just puts you more at the top of the queue for people to see. So more subscribers means more subscribers.
To expose more people to the program. So if there are people who are interested, they'll get to hear it. But the other thing is, when a lot of times I've had people tell me through the years, I watched you and then I just kind of lost track of you. And it's like, if you subscribe to somebody, you don't lose track of them. And with all the different shows and the programs and broadcasts there are on YouTube, how do you know which one you want to watch?
Yeah.
And something called Moohead Radio does not bring out the subject matter. And I recognize that too. But what am I going to do? The Cleveland Browns report.
It's like bullshit, isn't it? It's all nonsense. It's not you. It's not you to market this anyway.
This is not meant to be, a 50,000 subscription program. This is what I always called a boutique podcast.
For the discerning listener.
And anybody can just flip on a camera and just make up shit and just say, here's what I think this means, and pontificate about that. Yeah. I'm more interested in the nuts and bolts of this. And I think this program will give some younger people an understanding of what going through the return of the Cleveland Browns in 1999-2000, of what it has been like over the course of those 26 years. And a lot of the people are young enough that
they're too young. They don't remember 1999.
That's right. They weren't watching the Browns back then. So it's kind of like having an older person has some perspective from the past, and the newer shows, they're just going to react to things and try to create, some kind of a ruckus. And I see mistakes being repeated over and over again that a lot of the fans aren't old enough to have seen because they weren't alive. They weren't around. So, there's a place for all of the programs. I'm not denigrating anybody. I just think that this program offers a different perspective and a different way of doing things.
Yeah,
So,
there are entertainers out there, then there are the grinders and the workers, the determined ones, to quote Dylan Gabriel. Yeah.
yeah, it's really funny.
What about bumper stickers? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Moohead
funny
Radio.
that Ron would say that because
You did that.
yeah,
Yeah.
during the years of owning radio stations, billboards and bumper stickers and live broadcasts, remote broadcasts, and you name it, we did it. And by the time I got done with my radio businesses, I was exhausted.
Yeah, and all that moved on by then.
Oh my God, I was just exhausted. And it was like, something, I wanted to do something because at the time, and this is the honest truth, in 2002, uh, a doctor prescribed medication that had I had an adverse reaction to it.
Yeah.
Ended up,
Yeah, I remember this story, but other people may not.
yeah, with massive panic attacks, and it was medication driven. And it was during that time where I realized, something, I need to find something to chill out, man, to be able to do periodically. And back then I was doing shows every day, Monday through
Yep.
Friday.
Yeah, that lasted a long time, the everyday shows.
Well, and that's because I didn't have a life in the beginning because I was trying to overcome something and I didn't realize
Yeah.
what was causing the problem. So once that got solved, it was like, I just didn't want to feel like this was work. I wanted it to be play. So, I just hope that people understand where I'm coming from. And
I got an idea for you. Remember the old Tonight shows where Johnny Carson would go on vacation and they would clip together some old show of his or something? What you could do is go back through your archive, from the various platforms and clip out like 5-minute segments and then run a like special best of Moohead like some Wednesday night or something. And so this is the history of Moohead Radio.
You don't have to take my word for it. You can actually
You can find all that. Yeah, you can find all
you
that.
can
if you
go on
look
the
for
internet
it.
and just look up Moohead Radio, and you'll find all kinds of old broadcasts.
Really, I mean, the sports report girl. That
Yeah.
came up
Oh,
one
yeah.
time.
The stuff that were features back then on the program. And so that might give you an idea of how things have changed as far as the tone of this program, which was silly when it began. And now it's just
I carry that silly torch with me wherever I go.
Yeah, I'm just angry now that I'm still waiting for the Browns to do something right.
You're just a disappointed cow.
Moo. Hey, I got to get out of here, and like everybody else does,
It's my birthday today, so happy birthday to me.
Oh, happy birthday! Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. You're
Yeah.
28, right?
Exactly, plus another 37. See how quickly I did that math?
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this to. There we go.
Yeah, so I'm an old moose today.
And I'm an old cow.
Yeah, I'm an old
But they
moose.
don't want to slaughter me because I'm not tender.
Yeah, you're a bit chewy.
Yeah. But hey, and through the years, I appreciate you and I appreciate all the viewers who spend time,
Well,
just,
Tony the Calf is the doyen of panelists, if I must say. I mean,
since he
good
was
shout
16,
out to
since
him.
he was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, he was there at the beginning, so.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in to this edition of Moohead Radio. We will be back again on Friday. And then Saturday, here we go again, another 1:00 start for the Browns, final preseason game. That will be a better halftime and post-game show because we'll actually be able to talk about the starters and how they performed and maybe get a little bit further read on the quarterback situation and where Kenny Pickett falls into all this. Maybe we'll come up with
I think he's going to play.
Well, he has to play.
He's going to play.
And we'll see. I'm curious to see if he, with the backups, looks any different or better than the two rookies. Because if he does
I
not,
don't know. No idea.
It's going to be tough because you look at 70% pass completion.
They did. They all caught everything. They didn't drop anything.
The throws were on,
On
on
schedule most
target.
of the time, yeah.
Yep. And so if Kenny goes out there and looks like DTR, then he ain't going to make the team, because
Correct.
I think the organization has got to at least feel better about the fact that the two young quarterbacks, in the limited amount of time that we've seen them, have actually
Look
done
competent. Yeah, they
rather
look competent.
well.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we'll see more of them in the second half of the game. I'm thinking maybe a quarter from Flacco, a couple possessions, and give a Pickett a chance to really do some big time stuff to show off his wares, because I don't see how he fits into this. I really don't.
No, I mean, I'm going to predict 12 snaps for Flacco. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Well, we'll see how close you are. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back again Friday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.